A glimpse back to the Alston Branch Viaduct over the River South Tyne. The reinforced portal of Winchester Tunnel. This is the route of the pioneer Newcastle and Carlisle Railway, opened throughout in 1838, well before the east and west coast main lines from London to Scotland. On newly relaid track, we run slowly beside the South Tyne into Barden Mill station. The high elevated shunt signal for backing moves into the refuge siding should easily be seen from the head end of quite a long freight train. An English Electric Type 3, later to be known as Class 37, heading for Carlisle on freight. A long skew bridge under the A69 road. Hayden Bridge signal box has a large window to allow a good view of the road traffic. Since filming, this old road bridge has been superseded by a modern concrete structure. Less than 3 miles north of this easily graded riverside route lies one much more exposed and much older, that of the Roman legions guarding Hadrian's Wall. This is Fourstones. The village lost its station in 1967. Below the windscreen are the speed whiskers DMUs originally displayed. As we saw back at Haltwhistle, yellow high visibility panels were being introduced. Crossing the South Tyne just above its unseen meeting with the North Tyne. Also unseen on our right, the Allendale branch closed in 1950. The elevated signal box and the bridge remains at Border Counties Junction for the North British Railways line from Riccarton Junction in Scotland. With no west signal box, only 2 platforms and far fewer sidings, it's a much smaller station today, but the east signal box is still in use. Now Grade 2 listed, it's a typical northeastern bridge cabin. Our train now runs non-stop to Newcastle. The stopping service follows from Hexham. Diverting the line into a new cutting avoided a long closure of this important route when Farnley Tunnel was found to need extensive repairs in 1961. Riding Mill, like so many, has since lost its goods sidings. Stocksfield. Both signal box and footbridge are so typically northeastern. Prudhoe, and a brief glimpse of one of the 4 steam locos on the railway of the ICI works. At West Wylam Junction we turned from the original N&C line onto one built 40 years later and closed in 1968. Father of railways, George Stephenson, was born in the White Cottage. In the care of the National Trust it can be visited. It was beside the Wylam Waggonway of 1748, the route of which we are following. One of the 2 Stella power stations, both now demolished. That's Bladen across the river, no races there now, and the chain bridge has been replaced. Scotswood Station closed in 1967, and this route on into Newcastle in 1982. Of the 4 running lines along here, those on the left were reserved for goods and mineral trains. Elsick, it served Armstrong's engineering works. Yellow buses of Newcastle's City Transport. Elsick Works and 4th bridge cabins. The N&C's temporary terminus in Gateshead was soon replaced with 2 successive ones on this route, culminating in this Newcastle Central Station of 1850. LNER passenger green with BR and NER crests was specially applied to this J72 class pilot engine of 1898 design, often in the public eye.